I quit.
What the fuck?
It was the rat.
Yeah, no, that's dead. Hell yeah, brother.
Traumatizing.
We're a murder podcast! Hi there, I'm Audie.
I'm Danny.
I'm Elise.
And welcome to... Look, get your laughs out now because this is not a fun episode.
No.
I'm just preparing y'all, okay?
You want me to not be a silly little guy?
You're allowed to be silly, I'm just letting you know.
It's silly little guy serious time.
Okay, so this was a request.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This is one of the first times we are covering an actual documentary and not just me going on the internet and having silly little guy time. But you know, normally I just compile YouTube videos and other internet sources and make my own. No, this one I pretty much entirely followed a documentary. So today we are covering The Missing 411.
I've heard of this, but I don't know what
There's so
the
many
details
different
about
cases.
It. Yeah.
The Missing 411. Now, blank 411, there's a million different versions of it. There's missing, there's kidnapped, there's like tons and tons of versions of this. This documentary specifically is the case of 5 different little boys who went missing in national forests, and some of them were found, some of them weren't. We're gonna get into all of it, but sorry guys, we're talking about kids.
I'm actually interested in Missing 411, so I'm not mad.
That's fair. I have covered this
time
once
I'm not.
before on my old podcast, and it's definitely a very interesting story, but it does get heavy. So just be aware, especially for our viewers. This is going to be a heavier one today. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube with our slideshow, I will admit, this slideshow only has about 15 slides in it. Normally, we're somewhere near the 40 mark, but that is because we already have a documentary for it, and I do want to support that.
Yeah.
I paid money to rent this documentary. This was not on Netflix or Peacock. I paid money. I think you should too. This is a great thing to support.
And be educated on it.
Yes. So, genuinely, if you enjoy this episode, please go watch this documentary. If y'all want to watch it, I have it for 48 hours. Look, I rented her. I didn't buy her.
By the way, this was recommended by @Mike_post_shit on Instagram. There we go.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
What's it called? The something 42? 48?
Something 41?
No. Like, you know, where it's like, if they're missing for longer than 48 hours, they're probably dead.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The show, yeah. There's a show called
Oh,
48
wait.
hours.
Yeah,
It's
it's literally
just
called
called
48 hours.
Okay, I was right and I didn't even know it.
I was like, you're correct. So because this is a documentary, it's going to be in a different format than what I normally do.
Okay.
So like I said, this story has 5 different cases in it. It mainly follows one case, and then we kind of get just thrown into 4 other cases throughout it. So it'll be a little back and forth. It's still great documentary, but be aware we're going to be jumping the fuck around. So you're welcome for the slideshow.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
So the documentary starts in Idaho Falls with a 911 call.
I was in the car last night, and she went, "You're gonna need this. You're gonna need this slideshow. You especially." And I went, "Okay."
Not the you especially.
I was like, "I know I'm bad, but damn."
There's so much jumping around that it was even hard to take notes on it. You know, we're here.
Yeah.
So July 10th, 2015. A lady who is camping calls 911 about her 2-year-old son going missing. He's been missing for 1 hour.
2 years old?
2 years old. Dispatcher sends out search and rescue immediately. And we get introduced to a lot of people throughout this documentary. I'm only going to tell you about the important ones because they'll have either some opinions that I like or don't like. So we need to know who they are so I can either bash them or love them.
Hell yeah.
So first we meet Frank Villi, who was the private investigator hired by the family. We hate him, by the way.
Why?
Fuck
He's
Frank.
a douchebag.
Oh.
Sometimes he's right, but some of the things he says, he gives dick energy. So, we don't love him. Anyway, the 2-year-old victim's name is Deorr Jr. Now, I will refer to him as Deorr Jr. because his dad is Deorr Sr. So,
Okay.
it'll get a little messy. Here's your who the fuck is that slide.
Yay!
So, he disappeared July 10th, 2015 from the Salmon Chalice National Forest. Like I said, he's only 2. And this forest is in a really small town, remote, no cell phone service. All the roads are dirt and like hella rocky. When I say hella rocky, I mean you're going 5 miles an hour on these roads because you're bumping around so much.
Oh.
How would be trying to get into my apartment complex?
Them speed bumps. So the campsite has your regular fire pit. It's like 20 feet away from a steep hill that goes down to a creek.
Ooh.
And from day one at the campsite, everyone is a person of interest, you know. They're automatically like, well, you four were here. You four are going to be the suspects here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Deorr Sr. and Jessica Mitchell, who are Deorr Jr.'s mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Bob, or Robert, who's Jessica's grandfather, and a man named Isaac, who's the grandpa's friend. Now, you're probably thinking Isaac is going to be, like, in his 60s or 70s, like Grandpa. No. He's, like, mid to late 30s.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was dark when they initially got to the campsite, so they almost immediately just went to bed. Isaac has a tent on the property. Both the parents slept in the back of the sedan with 2-year-old Deorr, and the grandpa had a trailer that was attached to the car. I'm also just thinking, how the fuck did you get a trailer down there? If you can only go 5 miles an hour.
Yeah!
Everything in that trailer was bumping!
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning when they all woke up, they're kind of looking around and realizing, like, damn, we're in the thick of it. This campsite is like 7 miles down a one-way dirt rocky road, and this campsite is a dead end, so it just kind of like rounds out and then it's forest.
Oh, I hate that.
Same. So during the telling of this story, we also get introduced to Kelsey Olsen, who's Jessica's best friend. We love her. She's great.
Oh.
Great lady. She brings in so much tea later on, y'all are not ready for her.
Ooh.
Oh!
So Jessica and Deorr end up going into town with little Deorr just to pick up some products, get, quote, little man some candy, which broke me.
Oh.
Every time they refer to him as little man, I'm like, I need y'all to stop. I'm already crying.
Stop.
So they return to the campground, and Isaac and the grandfather are like, hey, we caught some fish. And Deorr Sr.'s like, there's no way y'all fucking caught those fish. Like, show me where y'all caught these. So they start heading back down. Grandpa was going to stay at the campsite while Isaac, Jessica, and Deorr Sr. went down to look at the fish. Now, originally, little Deorr wanted to hang out with Grandpa. So they all start walking away. They get maybe 10 feet towards the water, and little Deorr starts following them. So Jessica's like, okay, do you want to go with me? Or do you want to stay with Grandpa? Like, what do you want to do? Ultimately, he ends up wanting to stay with Grandpa, so she sends him back that way. And remember, they're like 10, 20 feet away from Grandpa. It's not like they're super far away.
He just wanted to hang out with Grandpa. I'm already crying.
So everyone, except for Grandpa and little Deorr, starts going down to the creek, which is maybe 100 feet away. It's not very far.
What if he went to go back and then change his mind?
It doesn't make sense. The distance between where they were versus where Grandpa was is so much smaller than what you're thinking. I'll show you some pictures in a minute. It is not far.
I'm assuming they never found him, did they?
No. Deorr is still missing today.
That's so sad.
And actually, if you're listening to this episode when it comes out, we are coming up on the 10-year anniversary of him going missing.
Don't say that!
He would have been 12!
It's not funny, but yes, you are correct. So Jessica even did a double, look back over her shoulder, make sure that Deorr's not following her, and he's not. So she follows down to the creek. They're down at the creek for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Isaac at this point has gone upstream a little bit to keep fishing, and Deorr Sr. and Jessica decide that, there's some minnows in the water and fish, so let's go get little Deorr. He would love to see all this. He was a kid that was really into bugs and nature, and he loved seeing that shit. So Deorr Sr. walks back up to Grandpa and says, where's little Deorr? And Grandpa's like, well, he was right here.
Bruh.
Little Deorr is nowhere to be found. He's nowhere around the campsite. He's not in the trailer. He's not in one of the cars. He's gone.
Was he old enough to talk?
Not, yes, but not really. He's 2.
Yeah.
So, he could make a sound and maybe a couple words, but not, legible sentences.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's one of those little kids where it's like, and then I went down,
yeah.
and then we had fun. That's kind of how 2-year-olds talk.
I never know, the ranges of babies and when they start doing things.
I don't either.
Around 3 to 4 is when you can start making sentences.
Okay.
So this is a little kid. This is a picture of them. That's
I
them.
know, they're so
So
cute.
you can see he's tiny.
I
Does
learned
it
how
all
to
have
speak
to-
early because I had my brother.
Because you a yappa.
It's because, my brother could speak and I couldn't. So I learned.
You said, I need to be able to cuss this man out.
It came with the software update.
So, of course, Grandpa is immediately defensive. By the way, we hate Grandpa. Immediately defensive and saying, well, I didn't go in my trailer or anything. He was right here. So, the parents are now freaking out. Isaac is still down there fishing. What's going on? Hello? I don't know what's happening. So, everyone starts searching the campground. They search for about 15 to 20 minutes with no sign of him and decide immediately to start calling the police.
Question,
Smart.
for this campground, is it just that one little space, or is
Yes.
it bigger?
It's pretty much that space. So he went missing in this very wide, opened area.
Until you hit that tree line.
Yeah, but the tree line was where his parents were.
Huh.
So like I said before, the campground is 7 miles out from the main road, and it dead ends at the campsite. So they already know it's not like somebody drove up and took him. You would hear them
Yeah.
coming down. Or when they tried to call the police, Jessica had one bar, so she's trying to call, and Deorr Sr. immediately gets in his truck and starts driving out in case she can't get a signal, so he can call further towards the road. So he's booking it down this road, obviously. He would have run into anyone that would have taken him.
Definitely. Even if it was like an animal or something, they would have still heard it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because Deorr Sr. is driving down the road trying to call 911 and Jessica's at the camp, they both end up calling 911 at the same time. And Jessica's 911 call is recorded, so you can listen to it.
Oh.
What's the address of your emergency?
I'm actually camping in Leadworth, just outside of Leadworth.
Uh-huh.
My 2-year-old son, we can't find him.
How long has he been missing?
About
An hour?
yeah,
Are you by water?
yes.
Do you know which campground you're in?
It's Stone Reservoir, Timber Creek. Yeah, we're Timber Creek.
Hold on. We need search and rescue.
So this is when we go back and forth. Like I said, Deorr is the main case that we're following in this documentary, but we have 4 other cases to talk about. So we're going to get to victim number 2. So we're going to talk about Bobby Bussett. So August 15th, 1958 in Rocky Mountain National Park. Now, the documentary tells us, like, this is an area where a lot of Catholics hung out. There was, like, a big Catholic church. There was a large statue of Jesus Christ, like, in all white.
Fun!
And while
Okay.
exploring this area, they were like, you know what, we should put here a boys' summer camp. So they start a camp called Camp Mallow.
Okay.
It sounds like something that would give you cauliflower ear. What?
That sentence is crazy.
Like, it sounds like a boxing camp.
Camp Mallow?
Yeah.
I think of marshmallows.
I do too.
Oh, I don't. It reminds me of boxing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
When, where, what?
So this is also when we meet 2 search and rescue people who not only helped out with a lot of cases that we're going to talk about in this documentary, but they were also camp counselors at this camp.
Oh.
So their names are Debbie Francis, and I'm going to mess up this lady's last name because it's spelt crazy.
I saw it on the, who the fuck is this
Yeah,
list? So I
it's
said,
Jane Jermaskusi. It's literally spelled Zmijewski.
Huh? Simajewski?
Sure. Just refer to the who the fuck is that list. We're just going to call her Jane. But they're telling us that there were several hiking trails around the area. They had bonfires, played games, you know, like a normal summer camp experience.
Mm-hmm.
But on August 15th, 1958, Bobby, who was a 10-year-old camper and partially deaf, so he wore a hearing aid. So 10-year-old Bobby loved fishing. So around 6 p.m., he was fishing in the small creek behind the camp retreat. And a counselor approached him and told him it was time for dinner, so he had to go. So Bobby acknowledged the counselor and started packing up his stuff and following them downhill towards the retreat. After a couple minutes, the counselor stopped, looked behind her, and noticed that Bobby was no longer following her.
It was the fish.
The fish ate him.
They both have fish in the story.
Oh
It
my
was the
gosh.
fish.
It was the fish, guys. So obviously they start searching, not only the camp, but the surrounding wooded area. And this summer camp is right at the bottom of a hill called Rocky Mountain National Park. So they're right outside this huge national park that's up this giant hill that's super rocky, like just not an area that anyone would really want to go to, let alone a kid.
Yeah.
So over 400 searchers are out in the National Park Services looking for Bobby. And it's also weird that this kid would get lost because it's a straight trail going from this pond down to the retreat.
Yeah.
So it's weird that he got lost in the first place.
And it's not even like they could sit there and call out his name because, like,
He's partially
he's
deaf.
partially deaf.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to hear it.
So because he's partially deaf, they printed over 5,000 flyers
Damn!
that say, "Mother and father love you. We need you. Your mother is sick. She needs you at home. We love you." And dropped them all over the forest.
Oh my god.
Imagine you go out to the forest and you just see one of those. You're just hiking. and you come across an old paper.
This was so broadcasted. Most people that are in that area know about this.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think what they're trying to say is, like, imagine now.
No, yeah, that'd
and
be
then
freaky
finding
as fuck.
one of them.
That'd be freaky as fuck. I mean, this was 70 years ago.
So there's probably still some out there.
Probably, yeah. On August 25th, 10 days later, the formal search is terminated after there are no signs of Bobby.
That's so sad.
So the next year, there was 3 camp counselors that ended up going back to the camp. And it sounds like they were there maybe a week or 2 before camp started. So they were just kind of hanging out, you know, being teenagers in the forest. So they decide to walk up the mountain one day. So this is in the opposite direction of where Bobby was walking down the hill.
Oh.
They're walking up this mountain over 2,000 feet up from the retreat. And they find a hearing aid and bits of clothing.
Damn.
So this is thought to be Bobby's remains. All his remains were found in a ravine. And this ravine they had searched tons of times before.
Oh.
And to get to the spot where he was found is an exhausting hike that's uphill. There's no reason why this kid would go in that direction.
Yeah.
Well, and his story kind of opens up for the documentary to talk about how a lot of missing kids, especially in national parks, are disabled in some way, whether that be mentally or physically. And it's a common pattern that's really freaky. So a lot of these kids are either autistic or have mobility aids of some kind, just something in that realm.
I was gonna say, is that a coincidence? But that's just weird
Yeah.
how that lines up.
There's been several times in the woods as a kid where I've almost died or gotten lost, and I could have died.
It's
but
terrifying.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's scary. So we're back to Deorr Jr. So at the age that Deorr is, 75% of the time, children within the 2-year-old age are found within a 1/4 of a 1/10 of a mile from where they disappeared. That's really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Couple
the end
hundred
of my
feet.
driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they searched so hard, but they just miss it somehow.
Well, so they start doing the chain walk method, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. It's where you literally just walk almost hand in hand so you can clear the most area possible. It's literally the most devastating thing you can think of. They tell you, take 5 steps, look up, look down, look around, take 5 steps, look up, look down, look around, and that's your whole day, just hoping you're going to see something. The search and rescuers even went through that creek on their hands and knees with poles, moving every rock and tree, just in case he fell in and got stuck underwater.
'Cause he's so small.
Exactly. They're even checking the wolf and bear dens.
Damn.
Oh.
Even eagle nests, because eagles can apparently lift up to 30 pounds, and Deorr was about 25.
No.
So, I mean, anything could have gotten this kid.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. No clothing, no flesh, no bone, no indication that an animal got him. So there's a family friend in this documentary named Jamie Preswick who's showing us an example of these tiny camo cowboy boots that he was wearing the day he went missing. But the reason she's showing us this is because her son owns the same boots. And she's talking about how her son can rip these boots off so easy. I mean, they're just the little slip-on ones. They come off really easy. Like, when her kid is running, they come off. And apparently the pair that Deorr was wearing were too big for him. So they would have slipped off in an instant, and the boots were never found. Nothing was ever found. Especially if an animal or something had grabbed him, the heels or the toes would have been dragged. Those boots would have fallen off in an instant.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's been 4 days at this point since Deorr went missing. The parents have not slept at all, which you can clearly tell from these pictures.
Yeah.
And obviously the media is coming down really hard on the parents, trying to blame them and figure out what they did, trying to get any information out of them. But law enforcement tells everyone from the get-go, all 4 people at the site were very cooperative from day one. So they didn't initially think that anybody was really in on it.
Yeah.
But you always have to be careful. They all answered questions individually and together, and all the stories matched up. There was no red flags. Even Jessica's own mother went on a walk with Jessica and, like, held her hand and said, if you need to tell me something about this, like, were you involved? And Jessica was appalled. She was like, why would I do this to my own kid? This is the worst thing that could ever happen. I had nothing to do with his disappearance.
That's fair. But everyone is a suspect, especially
Yes.
with a case like this.
Absolutely. 3 to 4 days after Deorr went missing, Jessica and Deorr Sr. left the campground and headed home to Idaho Falls. I could not imagine having to just leave without your kid.
Yeah.
Could not imagine it. And this is when they both go on the news channel for the very first and last time doing an interview. They're both still wearing the clothes from the day that he went missing. They haven't changed, showered, nothing. Jessica is carrying his blanket and his teddy bear around with her. And in this interview, the parents are clearly distraught. They're trying to get their words out. And according to Jessica's best friend, Jessica is more quiet while Deorr Sr. is more of the talkative person. And this comes up because everyone asks about the 911 call. Why was Jessica so calm during it?
We were more than probably 50 yards away in 10 minutes. But the time I seen him to the point I figured out he was gone.
And the creek was empty.
They had chainsaws moving because every few feet it was
blocked and blocked off from nature,
from trees, from branches, from debris.
There was a lot of places that he could be, and that's what they wanted to eliminate.
That was my biggest concern.
And if he's not, where is he? Because
by.
that means that there's a chance he's still alive, and that's all I need is a chance to know that he's still alive. And until I have him and closure or him, nothing is stopping. Nothing is.
So they're clearly talking over each other, trying to get out any information.
Yeah.
It seems very authentic to me.
Yeah, I agree. This seems like put together as they could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, there's so many cases of parents kidnapping or killing their kids.
Yeah.
Like, I think back to John Bonet, where it's like, we have a kidnapping. Or, my kid's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that.
She said that her kid's missing.
Yeah. She doesn't immediately go to, he's kidnapped, he's killed. It's just, he's gone.
Yeah.
That makes me think that she really wasn't a part of it.
Yeah. So we find out from the private investigator, Frank, which we don't like, that apparently they were struggling for money. He claims that they owed a lot of money for childcare and that Jessica, quote, had her tubes tied and sinned. First of all, fuck you. That's not your choice. Second of all, no, because she has a total of 3 children. Fourth off, not your choice. Fifth off, fuck you and your dementia-ass bullshit.
What the fuck?
You piece of shit. This is why I don't like him.
Mismatched patterns are technically a
Yeah,
sin.
what the fuck? Oh my god, it pissed me off. Like, you're a private investigator. Everything you do is technically a sin. Fuck
Yeah.
you lie and cheat all day. What do you fucking mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I hate him. Needed y'all to know that. Fuck this investigator.
You said she had 3 kids. Was this her first kid?
So, no. Deorr is her last kid. We never meet the other 2. She does not have custody of them. She gets every other weekend with them.
So I'm assuming they were not here.
No, they weren't there during it. Other than, like, one photo in the documentary, the kids are never mentioned. It never comes up. Just, they don't talk about it.
Interesting.
The only time it's brought up is when the private investigator is trying to air out their dirty laundry by claiming that she's a bad mom.
What the fuck ever.
And to me, it just sounds like she had the kids when she was really young. Do I think that's an excuse for not being a giant piece of their lives?
Yeah.
No. But also, this is a documentary where she doesn't talk about it. We don't know what their lives are like. That's not ours to deal with. We're talking about a missing kid, not her other children.
Plus, it could have been her decision to be like, hey, I know I can't give you a good life. I know that whoever you're going to be living with might be able to have a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he's trying to claim that she's not the best with children, and she would leave them at daycare and leave them unattended, but this is all from the private investigator. You never hear this from anybody else. And I also think it's bullshit because the private investigator only harps on Jessica for it and never the father, which tells me everything.
Yeah.
So they do that sit-down interview, and that night, the interviewer and all of them are seen at a vigil together for little Deorr. And they're telling everyone that they're leaving the vigil to go straight back to the campsite to continue looking for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Like, if I was a parent, I would do the same thing.
So now we're going to jump away from little Deorr for a second and talk about Jared. I'm going to say his last name wrong. I'm so sorry. Jared Atidero, I think?
Atidero?
Atidero? Listen, I'm a bimbo for a reason, okay? We respect kids, but I can't read. Hi there, this is Audie from the future. So I guess I was really getting into telling Danny and Elise about this story and how passionate I was, because after I said Jared's name the first time, for whatever reason, I kept referring to him as Jaden. So my apologies, his name is Jared. More than likely, when I was taking my notes, because of how his name is spelt, my phone kept auto-correcting it to Jaden rather than Jared. So apologies in that regard. His name is Jared. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Sorry for being a dumb bitch. He disappeared October 2nd of 1999. He was only 3 years old. The way these events unfold are kind of backwards. We hear about finding his remains first, and then the story of what happened. What's crazy, the people that find his remains are 2 men named Rob Osborne and Gareth Watts. Not Garrett Watts, Gareth Watts.
Oh!
Okay.
Although Garrett would love this documentary.
Oh, 1000%.
But they hiked the Big South Trail on June 4th of 2003, which was almost 4 years after Jaden went missing. So they're at the creek, and they're in this really steep, rocky ridge area, hiking upwards off the trail. And it's one of those places that when you're hiking, you can only focus on a few feet in front of you because everything's so rocky. Mm-hmm. You're not looking around at the scenery. You're trying not to die and twist an ankle.
Yeah.
While they're hiking, they find, settled in between 2 rocks, a pristine, white, little sneaker that belonged to Jaden. And when I say this shoe is pristine, I say this shoe is pristine. There is no way that those shoes were out there for 3.5, almost 4 years. So we learn that Jaden's father ran a resort during this time. It was a 10-acre resort, and it was just Jaden, his dad, and his sister Jocelyn. So it was really common, since he was like a single dad, for him to have employees that he trusted greatly that would watch after the kids. I mean, it's 10 acres. These kids kind of ran around, you know?
Yeah.
So in the fall of 1999, a Christians singles group came to stay at the lodge and helped out Alan, the father, prepare for winter in exchange for their lodging. So they're like working off to live there.
Oh, yeah.
So the group decided to go out to the trout farm. They decided to go to this trout farm, which is about 1.5 miles, no more than 2 miles away from the resort. Mm-hmm. So Jocelyn asked if she can go with them, and of course, Jared's like, well, big sis is going, I want to go with her.
Yeah.
So Alan helps, this part makes me so sad. Alan helps Jared put his little shoes on. He doesn't make him tie his shoes because the kid would fuss about it. He puts his brown jacket over him, says I love you, and the kid runs off, never to be seen by his father ever again.
Aww.
And he literally tells him, have fun, don't get too close to the water. And I mean, he's assuming they're going to this little trout farm that they had been to before. The group ends up driving 15 miles away to the Big South Trailhead.
Oh.
Taking the 3 and 6-year-old with you.
And how many people went on this trip again?
I couldn't find an exact number, but I mean, it was a big enough group, at least 6 or 7 of them. And this trail is, quote, a moderate trail. This is what Rob and Gareth say. No, this was a hard trail. They're making it sound easy. It is not. They're saying, like, oh, yeah, it's moderate, except some of the areas are only 24 inches wide, and then there's, like, a steep cliff off the edge.
Might be moderate for
rock.
them.
That's what I'm saying.
But for a 4-year-old, come on.
When they talk about, like, could a 4-year-old do this trail, and they were like, unless you're literally holding their hand the entire way, probably not. He literally said, and I quote, if you're not in shape, this hill will take you out.
Any hill will take me out,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a note here. We meet a guy named Bill Nelson Lanner, who's the county, quote, undersheriff. And I was like, is that like an understudy? Like if the other
The
sheriff
sheriff
dies,
falls.
is it like, oh shit, we gotta get the understudy sheriff?
It's like the vice president. Under sheriff.
So in the large group, some people are faster and some are slower on the trails. So they tend to spread out a good bit. You know, that's kind of normal when you're hiking, especially if this trail really is only 24 inches wide at some points. So there's one adult that's looking after both the kids, and they're kind of ahead of everybody else. And Jared, being only 3, is like running and playing in the woods and having a good time. So she lets him run ahead of them, thinking we'll catch up to him in a couple minutes. About 10 to 20 minutes later, this adult finally realizes, I haven't seen Jared in a while. And they just keep thinking, you know, he'll stop further up, we'll see him in a couple minutes, and they never see him.
Damn.
The last person to see him alive was actually a local fisherman who remembers speaking to the child when there was no one else around, because the child asks if there was bears around.
Oh, he's just so innocent, too.
And because the fisherman was the last person to see him alive, that means that Jared was also next to the water.
Oh.
So the dad is oblivious. He's at home.
It's always
cleaning.
water. It's water.
It's water.
I'm telling you,
Always
it's the fucking
water.
fish.
So the dad's at home cleaning. He ends up sitting down to watch a football game, falls asleep. You know, the classic dad on the couch taking a nap.
The recliner.
Yeah.
Beer in hand.
And he literally wakes up to somebody banging on the door of his cabin, coming in and saying, like, it's about Jared. And he's like, well, what? Did he, like, fall and scrape his knee? Like, what happened? This bitch, there is a fucking reason that their name is not in this documentary, because I would rip them to shreds. Because this bitch said, he's okay, we just can't find him.
How the fuck do you know if he's okay then?
Exactly. Like, what do you mean? Also, keep in mind, they have now driven back 15 miles away from where Jared is to let the father know. So I don't know if there's still people there looking, or if this entire group said, fuck it.
That's what I'm thinking about, because
God.
there's, I guarantee you, probably no service there, so you would have to come deliver that news in person.
So he asked, like, well, okay, at the trout farm? And they're like, so actually...
Detoured, actually.
We went 16 to 15 miles up the road to this giant trail. And so he books it out there. He's driving up this trail, and he's in the documentary telling us all this. He's speed demoning up this trail. He's saying the whole time he's going up it, he's just beating himself up, like, why did you let him go? Why didn't you go with him? Like, I'm so sorry. He keeps calling him little man, and I can't
do that.
So eventually he gets up there, and he's running down the trail, screaming for his kid, calling him every single nickname in the book. And he's realizing, this is a giant-ass trail. Like, I can't just be screaming his name. Like, I need more help.
Yeah.
So he calls 911, and 65 search and rescue professionals were deployed to find Jared.
65?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
24 hours straight, for 8 days straight, they're searching.
Damn.
And this is when we go back to Jane, the search and rescue lady. She was part of this search as well.
Oh. That must have been, like, her project, then, is finding...
She worked just with finding people in national forests.
Yeah.
She has a search and rescue dog.
Yeah.
So this case has nationwide coverage already. And for 3.5 years, no evidence is found. People have lost hope at this point. And now we're back to Rob Osborne and Gareth Watts talking about just the height of where all of his shit was found. This is so far off the trail up into a rocky hill point. This mountain goes 550 feet up from where he was last seen.
Damn.
And they've even said it was a struggle for them to get up there, let alone this 3-year-old kid. So along with Jared's shoes, his jacket and pants were found by authorities, along with his skull cap and one tooth found sitting on top of a log. This shit's fucking placed, and you can't tell me it's not.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way that this was just left here perfectly like this. Someone arranged this shit.
After 4 years
Yeah.
later, which I'm assuming they probably already hit that area as well. Did they DNA test it to make sure it was actually his?
Yes, this is confirmed. This is Jared.
Part of me wonders if he, like, ended up dying in the woods and, like, an animal was using... This sounds so bad, but an animal was using it for their, like, habitat.
This wasn't in an area that an animal would live because it was so rocky. At least an animal big enough to take this kid out would not have just lived in this area.
Yeah,
And
I
they
was thinking,
didn't
like,
find-
mountain lion or something
well, yeah,
like that.
Well, I'm not allowed to say it.
We'll get there.
I'm gonna put it up on the screen, bitch!
We'll get there.
We'll get there!
This way.
Shut the fuck up.
And remember, like y'all said, investigators are almost positive. Like, they searched this area. Why is this here almost 4 years later?
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all know who Les Stroud is, but he's in this documentary, and that makes me so happy. He's like the survivalist guy that used to make... he used to have a TV show where he would go out and, like, film himself surviving in, like, insane conditions.
Wait, no, I used to watch this with my dad.
Yeah, me too! He was in this documentary. And
Oh, that's
he talks,
crazy.
And he goes through a lot of the cases with us just to say, like, I have difficulty doing this, surviving. How would an infant or a toddler do this? Les is the first person that says, and I totally agree with him, that whatever is happening here is outside of this realm. It is not just a mountain lion or some creature getting him. This is either somebody killed him and placed these items here, or something entirely insane happened and we're not being told.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I just had this random ass thought, and the probability of this actually being the case is so slim. But these woods and, like, forests are so big, I'm sure there's places no one's ever been to.
Oh, absolutely.
And part of me wonders if there's, like, other civilizations
Oh,
there,
I believe that 100%.
and that maybe they placed it.
No, I believe that 100%. I think that there is something in national forests in the Appalachian Mountains that
We don't even know about.
I think that someone knows about it. I think they don't want us to know about it.
Yeah.
That is the entire reason I wanted to cover this today. I don't think you're ready for, like, when we're done with these stories, there's going to be at least half an hour of just us talking because of the theories I have. So, as you already said, like, everyone is thinking this must have just been, like, a big cat or something. You know, some kind of mountain lion or bobcat.
It's a loose tiger.
Even the even the investigators are like, no, this was just a cat. You know, it happens. But here's the thing. Because the dad was there so quickly, screaming and yelling, search and rescue got there so quick for days on end, someone would have seen a cat. And even if they didn't, that means that Jared would have been buried by a cat, and then weeks later the cat would have come back to him when they knew it was safe.
Yeah, because I'm sure all the noise and all the people, like, scared it off.
Exactly. There's only a chance if he buried Jared, the cat would come back. That's not a 100% thing. The father is so sick of hearing constantly that, like, it was a mountain lion, it was a mountain lion. He doesn't believe it. Because when they DNA tested Jared's clothing...
You would get other matches.
No mountain lion hairs. There is no blood on any of his clothing. Nothing. There's nothing on his clothing.
It doesn't even look like his blood is on his clothing.
Exactly.
It looks like there's no blood.
So here's the thing. The shoes are pristine. If you're being carried away by a mountain lion, you're going to have either heel scrapes, which would make the shoes fall off way before where the rest of him was found, or the toes are going to be scraped from him being dragged forward.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the shoes.
They look pretty much clean.
The jacket, if it was a mountain lion, they go for the stomach. The jacket is intact other than 2 scratches along the right arm through the fabric. Otherwise, the jacket is pristine. And his pants, one leg of it is completely torn off, which you're like, okay, that could be a mountain lion. No, because all the fibers from those pants were found in local bird and rodent nests. So they were taking the fibers from the pants in order to make their nests. It wasn't from a big animal. Also, his pants were found inside out.
Inside out?
What? None of his other clothings were. What do you think a mountain lion is going to take the time to make his clothing inside out? Also, a mountain lion wouldn't remove the clothing.
They would just go for it.
Exactly. These clothes are still with Jared's father. He has them, along with his tooth and his skull cap.
That's so sad.
And he shows them in the documentary.
That's so sad. That was the last outfit he was ever wearing.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's crazy. This outfit has no signs of flesh or a decomposition body being in it at any point.
I will say the chunk taken out of his leg kind of does look like a bite mark, but there's still no blood around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There would definitely be blood or something.
And once again, they were found inside out. That's crazy. The only explanation to that is either somebody undressed him or he undressed himself before he was attacked. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
And also, this was during colder months, because they're getting ready for the winter season.
Yeah.
Hence the jacket and the long pants.
So why would you take your clothes off? You're a toddler. It's cold. And the other thing about the shoes, remember, his shoes weren't tied. Those shoes are falling off.
They're still not tied in this photo either.
Well, that's because his father has kept them exactly how they were found ever since then. But remember, these clothing items were supposedly left out there for almost 4 years.
They don't even look weathered.
Exactly. That looks like somebody fucked them up and then put them back. So even the dad says, like, I can buy that my child was attacked. I can't buy that the clothing was turned inside out and all of that, and there was no DNA. And also, why were his clothing and the skull and the tooth found in different spots?
I was just about to ask, was it all found in the same spot?
In the general area, yes, but the skull cap and the tooth were found, like, up on top of a log while the clothing was under.
Definitely, like, placed. I believe that the clothing would be under, but on top of it?
Yeah. There's someone out there that knows what happened to this kid.
1000%.
Especially because since 1915, this documentary was released in 2016, so this is based on statistics between that 101 years.
Yeah.
14 fatal mountain lion attacks are documented.
Oh.
Only 14?
Only 14.
In 101 years.
And you're going to tell me that's what happened to this kid? With no signs?
Yeah.
Also, with everybody out there, you're not going to hear a scream or, like, a rustling or something.
I kind of do believe those statistics, though, because, like, the area for this is so fucking wide. That's probably just 14 that they knew of.
That's true. That's true.
What if he was trying to find his way back and he ran into someone and they said they were going to help him and then they just took him?
Maybe.
So now we're back to little Deorr. There's Isaac and Grandpa.
Okay.
He kind of looks like a blobfish.
Yeah.
You know what? He acts like one too, so that's fine. So they're immediately going to look into Grandpa first, because that's the last person to see little Deorr alive.
Mm-hmm.
So Grandpa goes by Bob, but his name is Robert Walton. He's kind of a dick. I kind of hate him.
Yeah.
So Robert claims that he didn't really play with, quote, that kid often.
That's your
kid,
grandchild.
your missing grandchild. He claims he didn't play with him that often, that he was really too young to do anything. Robert also declines to be filmed for this documentary, so it is only voice memos that were secretly recorded during their interview.
Ooh, that's so illegal, but I love it.
Ooh.
He's being interviewed about his missing 3-year-old grandbaby, and he says, the kid would bum candy off me. The kid's fucking 3!
Bruh.
The kid is 3! You think you haven't had enough fucking almond joys in your life? What do you mean?
Bummed candy off.
If you're gonna be that much of a dick, maybe you do need your damn Snickers, but you can give one bite to the 3-year-old, okay?
He wasn't
Jesus
3, he was
Christ.
2.
You're right. You're so right. So Robert is asked, like, do you feel guilty? You're the last person to see him alive. He says, quote, well, I think a little, but I think everyone that's there had a little guilt about it.
A fucking course.
So, another thing to remember, this campsite, Grandpa had been to many times. He knew this campsite like the back of his hand. He had been going to this campsite since he was a little kid. And the reason that Jessica and Deorr Sr. and her family was there was because Robert wanted to go on this trip. And Jessica's mom, so Robert's daughter, asked Jessica to go with him because he had dementia, memory issues, and was on oxygen. So it wasn't safe for him to go alone.
Yeah.
That's why Jessica's there in the first place.
That's just super suspicious that, like, he asked them to come.
Yeah.
He didn't ask. The mom asked for her daughter to go to watch after her dad.
Oh.
Which, in my head, I'm just saying, I think Grandpa was a little pissed off that his trip was ruined by this little 2-year-old being there. But from day one, he's ruled out as a suspect because of his medical issues.
What the fuck ever.
That's
And they
so
quote,
stupid.
They quote, don't think he was in the right frame of mind to do anything like that.
That's why he would do something like that. He wasn't in the right frame of mind.
And of course, everyone's gonna feel guilty. Everyone who was there is going to feel guilty because a child did go fucking missing.
So we go away from Dickhead Robert for a minute, and we're going to talk about Isaac. So Isaac's full name is Isaac Ringwald. So we have the same newscaster, like, throughout this documentary that's been following. He's the same one that interviewed the parents when this initially happened. He goes to Isaac's house repeatedly, knocking on the door every single day, trying to get some form of contact with Isaac. And early Monday morning, Isaac finally comes out, and I'm sorry, but Isaac had a rough fucking night, y'all.
Oh.
Yeah. And the parents came back and he was gone.
Like I said, I don't want to answer any more questions or anything.
He got woken up.
Yeah,
A little
I can
early.
tell.
Oh.
Okay, so parents went down to the river, like an hour?
They were down there for 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
15 minutes.
So he went missing in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They are there for 15 minutes. And Isaac is with the parents. He's down at the stream with them. He's a little farther ahead, but they can still see him.
Yeah.
So they're pretty sure it's not him. But that is something to think about. Isaac, quote, never searched for the boy. But that's from Frank, the private investigator. So I don't know if I believe it, because I think he did help the parents look.
Yeah.
I mean, he was there.
But I'm sorry, this is the only time that Frank made me laugh. He said, Isaac is a strange duck.
Oh.
He also has a prior sex crime conviction.
Oh,
It
so that's
was-
probably why he was high up on that list.
And it was reduced from a felony down to a misdemeanor. I never found out what it was, who, why, but we know that he is technically on the sex offender list.
That's probably why he was so high up on that list.
Also, the morning after this boy goes missing, he made a comment about having the best sleep of his life.
Oh.
Ew.
And until the camping trip, Isaac had never met the parents or little Deorr. He only knew Grandpa Bob.
Oh.
Another reason why he's
But
so...
Grandpa invited him. He said, I'm going down fishing. Do you want to come? And Isaac's like, yeah, okay. So when Isaac sits down for his interview with the documentary crew, like we've already discussed, he was caught a little off guard that morning.
Yeah.
He definitely went back inside and freshened up before coming back out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So Isaac and Grandpa had apparently known each other for about 5 years before this trip. And they're both recalling the day that he disappeared. Like, we're getting Isaac's interview mixed in with Robert's voice interview, because at least Isaac's to fucking camera. And they're saying the same story. You know, they went down fishing, the parents had gone into town. Robert claims that Isaac and Jessica and Deorr Sr. had gone down to see the fish, and little Deorr was left with him. He claims it was maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then Deorr was gone. Isaac is saying that when he was down fishing, he looks to where Jessica and Deorr Sr. were and sees their fishing poles laying down. And he's there for, he says, another hour before walking up and finding out that little Deorr is missing. I don't think that's fucking true, because later on, which I'll say the full story later, but for context sake, we get Jessica because she goes back to the campsite with the documentary crew, and she's telling them how she remembers seeing Isaac walk past them, basically right before Deorr Sr. came down to say, like, little Deorr is gone. So she remembers him passing her.
Oh.
So the stories aren't matching.
That's a little suspicious.
I mean, they're minor details, but
still, something to...
This is what he claims. Isaac says he comes back up to the campsite and asks Bob, like, hey, what's going on? And at this time, Jessica is running around trying to get a signal, while Deorr Sr. has taken the truck down to try and get a signal.
Do you think... Because you said that she saw him... Was that back at the campground, or did she go back down to the river to see if she can get more signal?
So, in her story, which we don't get until the end of the documentary, her and Deorr Sr. sit down and they say that they were down at the creek. So, you know, they're down there looking at all the fish. They said that Isaac took them down there. And then they don't say this, but it has to be implied that Isaac went back towards the trailer. Because Deorr Sr. goes back to the trailer to get little Deorr.
Yeah.
Finds out that he's missing. And Jess is talking about how from where she's standing, she can hear them. She can't hear word for word, but like she can hear voices. And she can see the picnic table from where she's sitting.
Yeah.
So they're that close. She sees Isaac walk back down the river past her, and then like a minute later, Deorr Sr. walks down and tells her that Deorr is missing. So it has to be implied that Isaac left to go up towards the trailer at some point and went back down. But Isaac's story doesn't say that, and no one else's story says that either. Only Jessica's and Deorr's.
Oh.
Robert never claims that Isaac came back.
Oh.
So that's the only part of the story
that doesn't match up.
During the whole documentary, that doesn't match up.
Huh.
Did they point that out in the documentary? Or?
No, this is from me, bitch.
That's wild.
Oh.
This is me, myself, and I doing my little fucking research. The documentary crew asks Robert, do you think that Jessica and Deorr Sr. had anything to do with this? And Robert says he doesn't believe they had anything to do with it, and he takes full responsibility for being the last person to see him alive.
He took responsibility for that?
For being the last person to see him, yes.
And he only feels guilty a little bit.
Yep.
Fuck off.
And this is what's crazy. So Jessica's mom, I don't think I ever got her name in the documentary, so she's just Jessica's mom. They're interviewing her too, and she's saying how everyone just needs someone to blame, so of course they're going to blame my dad since it's the last person to see him. If they didn't want to have to watch their kid, they shouldn't have brought him. And she's trying to blame her own fucking daughter.
Dude.
That's stupid. You're the one who invited them on the trip.
Exactly.
So they could watch your old dad who has dementia and can't do anything.
So, if y'all watch this documentary at home, please listen for this. At exactly 50 minutes in, they ask him, do you know what happened to Deorr? And his response is haunting.
Oh.
Oh, God. This is going to be the most, like, insane shit, isn't it?
I don't. I really don't know what happened to little Deorr in my heart or nothing else.
Do you know where little Deorr is?
No, I don't. I don't. I really don't know what happened to the kid. I don't know how much more you need. It'd be nice to get him back. That's the only thing I can say.
Why are you
laughing?
Why are you laughing? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Do you know who laughs like that? And they're
serial killers.
Literally, John Wayne Gacy. Or fucking any other serial killer that's been interviewed will laugh like that.
Mm-hmm.